Hello, everyone. Welcome to TeamsNation. This is the October 2021 monthly meeting. And of course, welcome to everyone, wherever you are joining, in which time zone. So you're all welcome here. Today, sadly, we have only one presenter or speaker today. There was sadly a cancellation, but we know the priorities, families and work comes first, and community is, of course, the second one after those. So I will do a little bit of housekeeping and then let Marcin to start his session. So just jumping ahead. So if you haven't joined the TeamsNation monthly meetups before, just explained it what TeamsNation is. So TeamsNation is a network of enthusiastic Teams fans, professionals who are really like to hear more, speak more, share ideas around Teams. Also, we are providing opportunities to present new ideas, having able to for new speakers and for people to share their knowledge and democratizing the knowledge and experiences around Teams. TeamsNation have been established in 2019. We already have 50 speakers on our monthly meetups, already have been organizing 4 conferences, and conference is actually coming on springtime next year, and already we have 680 members on our meetup group. So join in, let's get this number to 1,000, and the correct number on this hour is actually 683. And if you want to speak on TeamsNation, there is already a link to call for speakers announcement. And where you can find us, we are promoting things, so you can follow us on Twitter. So follow that @TeamsNation handle on Twitter. We have a meetup page where you can find all the monthly meetups, upcoming things, who is speaking there, info and links to also where to join the meetings. We have a site also about TeamsNation. It's mostly focused on the actual conference, but you can find more information and details from there as well. And if you want to speak, there is a link for call for speakers form. And you can also contact the group who are organizing the actual meetup directly. And if you haven't seen or are unable to join the meetings, you can of course check the meetings from YouTube channel as well. And of course we have a LinkedIn channel and you can follow us there. And just jumping back to one slide, just to showing the organizing party. So Chris and Adam have been establishing this network. Vesko and Chris Webb joined after that one, and me and Paul joined on this fall to this organizing group. So you can contact any of us. I think social media channels are the way to go there. And as I mentioned, sadly, we had a cancellation in the morning, but Marcin is going to extend maybe his session a little bit and talk about ultimate guide to Teams meetings. And of course, if there is any discussion, we can discuss around what's new in Teams and, well, or in the education features as well. But Marcin, are you ready?
I am ready, I hope.
Yeah, you can just jump in and take it away.
Okay. So, welcome everyone. An ultimate guide to Teams meetings. Right now I'm after 4 meetings. It was a tough day, full of meetings, full of Teams training. So this is the next one. Why my slides not working? Okay. My name is Marcin Siewnicki. I'm from Poland, Warsaw. I work in ISCG company. I work mostly with projects around Teams, Office 365, SharePoint Online, and stuff around that. Well, to be honest, I'm a SharePoint guy. I've been working with SharePoint since for 15 years, 16 years now. Wow, it's a long time. You can catch me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or on my new blog site. Okay, but let's go to Teams meetings to our agenda. So first, I will talk a little about meeting types, because it's important to understand what we can use and when we should use each type of meeting. Then, very important thing, very important part, so how to configure meetings, each of the types. Then the meeting itself, so what we can change when the meeting starts, what we can use inside that, and at the end, small recap and what you can get when the meeting ends. So you can schedule a meeting in roughly 10 seconds. It's not a big deal. You can do this just like that. Yeah, it's very easy. Everyone can do this, and everyone can make it in a second. But most of the people schedule a meeting, forget about settings, forget about everything, and wait the meeting itself. And from time to time, people realize that, well, I don't have a feature I need. My meeting is not correctly configured. I don't have settings. I don't have something that I need, or it works in a different way that I was thinking about. So it's the point when we should. So first point, we need to configure meeting, but first we need to choose the right type, because there are 4 types. For me, I divided meetings into 4 types. So first, meet now. So very basic meeting type. You can run it quickly, just one button, and that's it. Classic scheduled meeting. Just you can create an appointment in your calendar, send an invitation to all your attendees, and wait for the meeting itself. Then, well, webinar. It's a little bit advanced scheduled meeting with some additional options that you can use for your attendees. And at the end, a live event. So advanced meeting type for broadcast for large audiences and with different user experience and different options. But start from Meet Now. There's no calendar entry when you click Meet Now. There's no entry in your calendar, so there's no invitation behind that. So this is for ad hoc meetings only. If you want to meet right now, right here, just click the button. You can start it from Teams or from Outlook as well. So it's up to you. But you have invite people on yourself. So just grab the link to that meeting, send it using Teams, chat, Outlook, put it on your website, whatever you want, but you must send the link to your attendees, or invite users, invite people from the meeting itself. But meeting won't do this for you. So just you will start with only yourself inside. Otherwise, scheduled meeting, this is a classic meeting. So the meeting with calendar entry, with start date, start time, end time, and you can start it the same way from Teams or from Outlook. And there is an event in your calendar, and there's an entry in your calendar in your Outlook or Teams calendar. So it is a booked slot in your calendar. And you can invite people from your organization, from external people. And for this one, Teams will send invitation for everyone that you add into attendance field. And webinar is extension for classic meeting, for a scheduled meeting, because you get additional form designer for your attendees, for users, for mostly from outside of your company, and the additional report who registered with details about that users. There's a limit up to 1,000 attendees will or can join your webinar and can use microphone, cameras on chat. So communication is in two directions. And when you cross or your webinar is and join more than 1,000 attendees, it will switch to view-only mode. So mic and camera and chat will be disabled. And the last one, live meeting, well, it's designed for large audience. So not for 5 people, not for or 10 users. No, it's up to 1,000 attendees in non-COVID times, but right now it's extended to 20,000 till the end of the year. If it will be extended, we'll see. And if you want larger meetings, larger live events, you can talk with Microsoft and they can extend it up to 100,000 users. And live meetings are designed for no one-way communication. So no chat, no video from attendees, only dedicated Q&A panel and moderated discussion. And it's different. It has different user experience, different properties, settings, and dedicated panel for multiple presenters, queues for this. So it's something different than classic or regular meetings in Teams. And yeah, so now let's go to talk and think about configuration, how to configure your Teams, how to configure your meeting in Teams, and not to forget about important things. Teams provide us a very nice setting window or website where you can configure your meeting. You can configure who can bypass the lobby, can present, can disable or enable mic and camera for your meeting, can set to record automatically your meeting, allow or disable chat during the meeting, etc. So there are pretty simple and pretty obvious options, but some of them works in a very specific way. And let's go to Teams, yeah, because slides are boring. Okay, so this is my Teams with some error. Okay, bigger. Okay, zoom a little. So let's talk how to configure your Teams meeting, because it's a very important part. So in calendar view, we can click new meeting and just type anything. Meeting without options. And that's it. If I click, as you can see, there's no options here. I can't configure any option for my meeting. I can click save. And now if I go to my meeting and edit, well, there's no options. There's still no options because you can't configure your meeting if you are the only one. If there's only one organizer, one people inside the meeting, there's no options for this meeting. You have to add additional one attendee to get options menu. That's quite interesting. So my test user, John. Yes, and update. Now go back to edit. And yeah, meeting options appeared. So if you book your calendar using Teams, there's no meeting options. But if you add additional attendee, you can go and click meeting options, and a beautiful website will open with my meeting options. Please load. Okay. And From this page, you can configure options for your specific meeting, and those options are saved and valid only for this one meeting. The settings that you get here comes from Teams global configuration for your organization. So you get options from your admin, from your Teams admins. But what we can change here, of course, the first thing, who can bypass the lobby. So this is very important to be sure that we control who can enter, who can bypass the lobby during our meeting. It depends from organization, so you can select to bypass people, to allow bypass people from your organization only, or maybe from your company and maybe trusted organizations and guests. This is great if you want to allow people to bypass from your trusted vendors or partners. But keep in mind that in the same time you allow guests to bypass the lobby automatically. So this is a thing to consider if you want to allow guests automatically to be join your meeting. But you can also allow everyone to skip the lobby. Then who can present? This is very important if you want to create, if you want to organize a formal meeting with probably from management, top management. So you want to have full control over the meeting, so you can start with only me. Then you can extend past the presenter role to someone else, but at the beginning you can start with these settings and then extend. If there's no need to control who can present, you can stick with people in my organization and guests. Then two options, allow microphone and camera. And same thing, I think, for the who can present. So if it's very formal, very meeting with top management, you can disable these settings and then enable if needed during the meeting. If not, just keep it enabled. And the next one, record automatically. This one is quite interesting because you can, if you select this to yes, so enable the recording. So when the meeting starts, it will record automatically. After finish, it will be when it's finished, it will be stopped. So it's a great feature to if you want to create a meeting and forget about recording, etc., or create a serious meeting. But I will show you how it works, how it really works, because it's not so obvious who can record, how it will, where it is stored, and when the recording starts. Then you have allow meeting chat. That's quite interesting, I think. I'll make a zoom here, because you can enable, disable, or disable chat. I do not suggest to disable, because if your attendees have problems with mic or connection, well, it's easier to type it on chat than calling you using phone. But you can disable that one if needed, or you can use in meeting only feature setting. So in this time when the meeting is over, just the chat is disabled for attendees, so you can control. You don't need to worry about who can read your chat meeting. Okay, so I will enable this recording because it's quite important to my presentation. And yeah, save. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to my calendar. Okay, so this meeting is scheduled for 2:30. Yeah, now it's 2:20 past. Okay. So if I join my meeting, yes. Okay. So now recording has started automatically without any action from my side, as expected. I can, of course, stop it manually. Yep. And recording will be saved in my OneDrive. That's expected behavior. But as you may notice that I joined the meeting 10 minutes before the meeting, and the recording just started. Yeah? So it means that auto recording will start whenever a user starts a meeting. It can be 5 minutes before the meeting, 10 hours before the meeting, or even 2 days before the meeting. Okay, so let's switch to my OneDrive to check if it's really in my OneDrive. Okay, so put it in my OneDrive. Oh, beautiful, big. And yeah, this is my, where is it? This is my meeting. I automatically recorded. That's great on my OneDrive. But what happens if someone else from my org, from my company, joins the meeting? So I join from my test account. Here, this is my close that one. Okay. But not one. I have to leave both meetings. And now. No. Okay. Calendar again, sorry. And now I can join a meeting again. So there's no one inside. So let's check what happens. Oh, okay. The recording started again. So it's the second recording for my meeting because it's auto-recorded. And some other guy from my company started recording automatically. So if I quit, the recording will finish and we'll check where that recording is stored. In my drive, in the organizer OneDrive, or maybe somewhere else. Okay, that's unexpected. Okay, but anyway. Okay, this is my my OneDrive on John account. And yep, this is Polish interface on this account. Sorry for that. But this is the latest meeting. So so if you enable auto recording on your Teams meeting, anyone who start the meeting will start recording. So it means that on that specific person's OneDrive, the recording will be stored. So don't be surprised if someone else starts your meeting and the recording goes to that person's account. So that person will be owner of this recording. That's just something worth okay, unfortunately, I have to. Oh no! My remote desktop has stopped. That's beauty of demo sessions. Okay, I have quickly rejoined my virtual machine with my Teams. Okay, we're back. So that's about recording when you set it to record automatically to yes. So anyone who starts the meetings starts recording, and so it will start 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Whenever you enter or whenever you start the meeting, the recording will start at the same time, and you don't have any. You can't control when the recording starts. So just to know that. Okay, and the next one. What if you set recording automatically? If when your meeting is assigned to a channel. In this time, your recording will be recorded to Teams channel. So if I create a recording or a meeting quickly, or maybe I modify that one. No, I create a new one for this one. Scheduled meeting, just channel meeting with my test user John and channel approvals general. Yep. Okay. So I quickly modify settings for this one. Again, it will open in my browser. And I will recording to yes, save. And now if I join that meeting, the recording should start automatically by design. And this time, yeah, it started when I stop this or leave the meeting. And if I go back to my channel, my approvals team and general channel, I think, yeah, files, the recording should be placed into the recordings. Yeah, that's true. So for channel meetings, your recording goes to SharePoint. If you enable it to record automatically, it will be saved to SharePoint as usual, but started when a user enable or user start the meeting. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Recording, of course, personal works as expected, but saved on OneDrive for the starter meeting user. For channel meetings, it doesn't matter who starts the meeting. Auto recording will go to SharePoint, to Teams, to channel, and to channels SharePoint. That's okay, but it's probably not so a little bit counterintuitive when you select this enable auto recording. And the next one, okay, I switch to my where is it? Now about Meet Now. A few words because it's easy to start. So just click Meet Now option, and yeah, just start meeting. But there's no meeting options because it's not saved. In scheduled meeting, in classic meeting, you have to create a meeting, then you can go to options. And with Meet Now, because it's not saved, there's no calendar entry. Well, you can't. There's no meeting options. So when you start, you have to go to options and modify the meeting. But fun thing, if you click get a link to share, you get the meeting options available That's quite interesting. So you can generate a link to that meeting. So you created entry in Teams for that meeting. So now you can go to meeting options for your Meet Now. That's quite interesting and a little bit hidden feature. This is my Teams for personal uses bothering me. So, but if not, if I just click Meet Now, there's no meeting options. You have to configure your meeting during the meeting. So close those windows, and then when it's running, you can go to meeting options. So you have two options with Meet Now, or create or generate link and then go to meeting options and start, or just start and go to meeting options. Well, in fact, it doesn't matter because at the beginning, it's always you inside, and then you have to invite other attendees. But just funny thing that you can go to meeting options before the creation process. So it's, well, in fact, no configuration, but if you generate a link, you get a configuration option, configuration window. So yeah, and again, options are in web browser. So you have to switch to that one. So the next one will be, there's also one thing that's quite new in meeting. I join quickly my, it's channel meeting. I don't want channel, I want this one. So if you join your meeting, if you are a presenter, organizer, so you have full control over the meeting settings. So you can go to participants window, click ellipsis, and you can log the meeting. So no one can be able to join your meeting. You can use this if you want to block guests, block additional attendees. So it's quite a new feature. It was introduced, I don't know, 2 or 4 weeks, I think, within last month. So if you need, you can lock your meeting and disable the possibility to join to your meeting. And the attendees will get information that the meeting is locked and just you can't enter. So about schedule meeting I talked. So now live. Where's my webinar? So about webinar has same options, same configuration option as schedule meeting. So there's nothing new. You can select. I will create one. Yeah, new meeting webinar. So at the same time, same options. So I have to send or create a meeting before I can go to configuration options. Again, my John account and send. And now I can go inside and select my meeting options. But this time, meeting options. Okay, but this time meeting options are configured specifically for webinar. So all features are disabled just to give you full control over the webinar. But you can, of course, modify these settings. So it's not disabled from configuration. It's just predefined settings for your webinar. So if you need to add additional presenters or allow camera or allow mic, you can do this and save settings for your meeting, for your webinar. But webinar has additional form designer that you can go and edit. And using this form designer, you can allow your attendees or users to register for your webinar and gather all required information. And you can add image, add some details about meeting, add speakers information, but as you can see, there's no place for picture. You can use these predefined fields. So 3 fields are mandatory, but you can add additional fields, and you can even specify your custom or create a custom question for your attendees. And all those information, when you create a meeting, webinar, send a link to this form. So when someone fills that form, or maybe I will fill it. Okay, save, copy link. I will open a new profile. Yeah, I can fill the form. Email. Don't need any test emails. And that's it. So now if I go back to my Teams, if I click this registration, I will get all all registered users in CSV file. So you can check your progress and use this information in additional tools. But in the same time, if I go and switch to my Office and go to my Microsoft lists, close those settings, I will refresh it. Okay, I sort this yes. If you check your latest lists in Microsoft List, you get event, questionnaire, and speaker lists created for your webinar. If you go to questionnaire, you will get a nice list with all your entries in this list. So you can use this list instead of your CSV file to work with registered users, to maybe add some automations and dedicated invitation email, or do whatever you want. But I think it's quite easier way to manage your registration than downloading CSV file and work with it. And what's important, if you add during your registration period, if you add additional field, the field will add here. So a new column will appear, and additional information will be inserted in this column. So that's quite interesting to know that all registration goes to Microsoft lists. Yeah, for webinar, you have form designer, and you get a report with registered attendees. But I think it's easier to work with those information saved in Microsoft list. And the last type, meeting type is live event. It has dedicated options, different than you can find in scheduled meetings. And what's very important, you can restart a live event. I will show you why it's important and what changed before from the last iteration. So live events are dedicated for large audiences. It's kind of broadcast. So you can send your presentation, your video to thousands of users at the same time using Office infrastructure. But because it's designed for large audiences, it has dedicated options and some limitations. Live event, I can specify start and time zone, of course, provide some details, add presenters, because it's important to add presenters. So define who can be able to present during this live event. Now I can specify who can be able to join. So if it's a public event, company-wide, or only specific to some people or groups, I put public, and there's only a couple of options. So who can, well, is the Q&A panel enabled or not? If there's any captions available, or attendee engagement report, and one option about recording, so if it's available for attendees or not. Some features can be maintained by your Teams admins. So in this case, in this situation, my recordings are by default enabled to producers and presenters. And that's it about configuration. So if I schedule that one, so for live event, what's important that you should get attendee link and send this attendee link direct to your attendees, and send invitation from Teams to your presenters. And if I join, this is the biggest change, I think, for live events. Connecting, yeah, the user interface is quite different than in standard, in common meetings in Teams. But to be honest, you should, if you don't know how to work with that, you should make a dry run for your live event before you start, because it's easy to get lost inside this, how it works, how to create a queue, how to pass presenter roles, etc. But what is the most important thing, the most important change in Teams live events is that now you can restart your event. A few weeks ago, it wasn't possible. So when you start your event, it have to finish after 4 hours, and that's it. You couldn't restart it. So if you start by accidentally, so that's it. Game over. You had to create a new live event, send a new link to your attendees, and well, it happened from time to time for some users. But now you can simply go restart event, and it will restart, and you can just start again, over and over again. I didn't try it if you can how many times you can restart the event, but at least once. I checked that at least once it works. Okay, so that's about live events. I don't want to go deeper into this for now. So yes, restart live events. This option is now available, so we can go and restart your event without any troubles. Okay, so after the meeting, there's one thing that that is important. Not one. There's one. There's one thing quite important for meetings, because during the meeting you can present your information, use PowerPoint features, use speaker options, etc. But when the meeting is over, you can go to your meeting. This one, let's go. Oh no, go to and edit, of course. and select there's an attendance options section that you can go and check. And you will get your attendance report in this nice looking view. So you don't need to download anything, download CSV report on something like that. So you can get nice view, and you can check also there's drop down with all meeting occurrences. So if someone join and leave the meeting for a few seconds, you will get this report for each occurrence of that meeting. So you can switch between occurrences and check who joined, when, for how long. Yeah, 1 minute, so not the longest one, 48 seconds. So you can check exactly who and when and for how long joined your meeting. There is also one thing, but it's not visible in this meeting. I will go to this one. This one. And when the meeting is over, there's a recording and transcript sections, so you can go there and check in this nice way, nice view, all your recordings for these meetings. As you can see, I tested automatic recording, so that's why I have 2 recordings for one meeting. So keep in mind, if you enable this automatic recording, you can end with multiple recordings. Okay. So attendance report is quite important, and go and check your attendance report. And if you need, you can go and grab your recordings from these recordings. And what are the most or nicest features that are coming to Teams? Well, video filters in, I don't know, month or 2, you will be able to add additional filters to your video, add some lights, etc. Co-organizer role, so you will be able to add additional organizer role with permissions to manage settings, to check settings, to modify settings during the meeting. So you don't need to be the only one that can work with your or manage your meeting. Admins can install apps in meetings. I didn't check that one. It was in development, but I think it can be available right now, or I don't know really, to be honest. But admins can be able to install applications for meetings in meetings for all attendees. Together mode extensibility, I think it's almost available. A breakout room presenter, you will be able to attach or assign presenters for each breakout room. And I think there are some other features that are in development, but for me, those 5 are the most important, because I need some co-organizer role in every single meeting. Okay, so just as a quick recap for the session, choose the right meeting type. It shouldn't be so hard, but if you need which meeting you can use for each type of situation, it's easier to decide. And yeah, check meeting options. This is very important, not to end with no meeting without some additional features. And keep in mind that you need to save the meeting, or send the invitation for the meeting before you can go to meeting options. That's something that it's counterintuitive for me. And record and share your recordings if you want to give your users some additional information, additional stuff for your from your meeting. And keep in mind that if you enable auto record for your meetings. Anyone who starts the meeting will start the recording. Okay, so that's all from my side.
That was really great. Thank you ever so much, Marcin. Just a reminder to everyone, next month, which is the month of November, we're going to be having a Microsoft Ignite after party that we're hosting. So it's going to be in place of our regular speakers. So we all hope that you can join us for that. Vesku, do you want to kind of disclose the subject at this moment in time? Because I think that we submitted it a few days ago. Is Vesku on? Or has he already jumped off? I know that he's got a meeting with Microsoft at 4, so he might already be gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone. But yes, next time around at November 15th, it's going to be, as Chris said, a watch party, meaning that we will watch a session from Microsoft Ignite and then have a discussion about that afterwards and so forth. And there will be much more information coming about that after this, so to speak. So just keep a lookout.
Also, as well, kind of occasionally we go out and ask the Meetup group for anything that they want to see in terms of ideas. We've been running with this format for a while in terms of when we have our monthly meetups, we will have a couple of speakers that are usually between 30 to 45 minutes a piece. If you want to see other things such as panel discussions or ask the expert sessions or like a town hall, or if you would like to see Microsoft speakers that we have done before in the future, please feel free to give us feedback on the Meetup group. We want to keep this as interesting and worth your time as possible. Like I say, we get together, we have a think about these things. We know that in-person events are also coming back, and it would be great to also have a discussion with you about how we keep virtual events both relevant and in its most interesting format, and what you want to see from them. So what we'll do is we'll probably start that discussion in the Meetup group. Please feel free to kind of contribute or to put your own ideas in as well. So I just want to thank you ever so much for your time. It's been really great to have you. We want to wish you all the best at Ignite. We hope you've already picked out your sessions for going to. I think most of us are speaking there again this time around. I definitely know that Adam and Vesku is. I myself am. We're going to be taking place in the alt space table talks. So we hope to see you there and look forward to seeing you for the watch party next month. Guys, is there anything else before we go?
Yeah, maybe just a reminder that it's happening in virtual reality, but you can still join in with your computer. You don't need to have a headset. You can just download the VR app, AltSpace VR app, and join in. It's fun, even with just a regular computer. It's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to see everyone involved. Microsoft are making a big push on AltSpace over the course of the next year, and at Ignite we'll see everything between AltSpace. We'll find out a little bit more on Mesh. It's going to be a big area for them, and with a lot of development over the course of the next year. So have a great month. It's been great to see everyone, and look forward to seeing you again for the watch party. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.